Until 3, this is Peter Bell on 6PR, the voice of Perth.
25 past 12, whether you utilise the services of Uber or Airbnb, whether you like them or you don't, there's no doubt they've been enormously popular and growing in popularity all the time. My next guest is Jonathan Bosanquet, and Jonathan's had a look at taking the same principles into the boating market and making more boats available to more people. Jonathan joins us. He's the co-founder of FLOTE, article written in The Australian by Simon King today. Good afternoon, Jonathan.
Hey, Peter. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for your time. Good idea. You've got some background in the boating industry?
A small amount. I was a boat broker for a while, and I imported some boats that I had made overseas. But really, it's just a passion. My dad had a boat when I was a kid, and you just those memories stay with you for life. So it always has an important part in your life, I think.
And I think the key here is, I mean, we all look at these boats and look, a lot of them are very, very expensive. But I was a little bit surprised. I thought that the boat would be used for more than 16 days a year on average. But I guess it's pretty tough to find the time for a lot of boat owners.
Well, you've hit the nail on the head. The more expensive the boat, the more busy the person owns it. So it's not most people that can afford to buy a boat like that and then not work to support it. So you've come up with the concept, which is similar in many ways to Airbnb and Uber, called FLOTE, F-L-O-T-E. Just explain to my listeners exactly how it works. Well, it's really simple. There's two groups of boaters out there. The first group are people that own a boat, and they love this boat and it's their passion. And they have these expenses that are associated with owning a boat. And the second group are people that don't own a boat but would love to go boating. And whenever their friends ring them up and say, hey, do you want to go out on the Swan and have a bit of skiing with me? You're there in a flash, aren't you? So it's bringing those two groups together and saying, well, maybe not just your friends, maybe you can just go to a site and advertise and say, hey, look, do you want to come out with me and flick me some fuel money?
And clearly you've put a lot of thought into it, also enlisting the help of your friend John Kavanagh, who's a former Maritime Safety Queensland Director of Maritime Services, because the big question straight away is, if I own an expensive boat and someone else takes it out and an accident should happen, where do I stand? Okay,
well, that's a really good point to cover. Firstly, the majority of our big boat rentals are probably going to be captained anyway by the owner.
Okay.
So we want the owner to share their experience and their love and passion of their boat. And my family, let's say, I've got 3 kids who love boating, and myself and my wife, we might pay a guy on a beautiful big boat a few $100 or $1,000 for the day, and he takes us out and he shows us where he likes to go and throws on a bit of a party for us, and we have a great day. There is going to be some bare boat rental as well. Mm-hmm. So if I'm a licensed captain and I've done my courses and I can prove that I'm a safe captain on the ocean and I've been tested, etc., then there might be an opportunity for me to rent a big boat. But obviously in the smaller boats like tinnies and small fishes and those sort of boats and small sailing boats, sure, you'll be able to bare boat rental those. But the idea really is for captain's boats.
And I like the idea of the boat owners have to supply the full service history of their boat, so that any prospective user can be comfortable that all the sort of the important things are ticked off on, and safety vests, everything's up to scratch from a safety perspective, Jonathan.
Absolutely. Well, this is John. I mean, this is why John's involved. John's expertise. He's been on the water all his life, and he's a Navy man, and he's obviously a master mariner as well as a maritime lawyer. So when he came into the idea, first it was me begging him to help me, and second it was him saying, "What a great idea! I want a part of it." So it's but his number one goal in this. And in our first conversation, he said, "What if I'm going to be involved? What I want to do is make recreational boating safer than it is right now." And we can do that through FLOTE, because we're going to be supplying something captains want, boat owners, we call them captains. We're going to be supplying them voyages. People want to pay them money to go boating. So they'll listen and they'll say, okay, so there's a couple of hoops I have to jump through to make my boat safer or make sure my safety equipment's up to standard. And and we're going to give the voyagers checklists and stuff like that they can actually know what's going on and feel safe and secure.
Jonathan, as far as price is concerned, is it simply a matter of supply and demand? The captains set the price, and if they're getting bookings, that's all good. If they're not getting bookings, they might have to have a look at their price.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're not setting any prices. Obviously, if you've got a $1.4 million boat, it's going to be expensive. If you've got a little runabout fiberglass fishing boat that was built in the 70s, it's going to be really cheap. But they're both a lot of fun, and they're both going to service different people at different times.
Now,
and like some of my favourite memories are on the Swan skiing outside Bamboos, behind a piece of crap flight craft with a Chrysler motor, doing 50 kilometres an hour, screaming our heads off. It was great. It was the best times of my life.
Now, I know that you're a little way off from launching, pardon the pun, but Western Australia would have to be a big part of your plans?
Absolutely. Sydney, Gold Coast, Western Australia, they're the three main markets. Melbourne's a sailing market, and Adelaide's a lot of fishing. But Sydney, Perth, and Gold Coast are the three markets that we just know are going to go off. And already, like today's been amazing. Simon's article in the Australian has been off the chart.
Yeah.
And we've had inquiry right across the country. So
it's terrific.
Yeah,
it's a good idea. We wish you all the best with it, and I'm sure we'll be seeing your brand name out there in the future. Flote. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Cheers.
Jonathan Bosanquet, co-founder of Flote, FLOTE. So if the boating life is something that you've always aspired to, but look, it is very expensive, this might be right down your alley, I think. The ability to rent a boat similar to, I guess, Airbnb, if you like, for a day. You can have it crewed as well. Yes, it's going to be expensive, but chipping in with a few friends and family, you can enjoy a beautiful day out on the Swan or wherever it might be, and you can take your pick of the boats. So I guess I think it's going to be really popular and something to look out for.